can you let us know? Oh, wondering what love is, can you let us know? Woo! Welcome back, everyone. Oh my God, Justin, it's been a while.
I'm so happy to be back. Cass, to be honest, I've been falling in and out of love this whole time we haven't been doing the podcast. I can't handle it.
Oh, I agree, man. I miss you and I miss our listeners and I miss the pod. Let me just say that August was a lonely, loveless month for me.
I mean, I gotta say, Cass, if I'm not speaking my opinion on a broadcast about my opinions on love, I feel empty, if I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. So whether I was with friends, with loved ones, with anyone really in this heat wave, I was really just feeling like no one's listening to me. And that to me is just, that can't happen. That can't be.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh,
Uh,
heartbroken.
yeah, yeah.
Heartbroken already. I haven't seen Cass in weeks,
Yes.
podcast related, and she already broke my heart.
Already razzing you. I miss that, yeah.
Missed a good Raz. Oh my lord, listeners, razzing aside, we are here with what's that? Part two of Soulmates and Twin Flames. And let me tell you, it's my favorite part because we're dealing with soulmates.
Oh, I am so excited, Justin. As you know, I am a sucker for soulmates, destined relationships, and all that jazz. So I am stoked to get into this today.
As am I. As listeners may have caught during all of our episodes, I try to put out a little bit of a pessimistic view on the world, but Cass is our resident soulmate finder. Beep, 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 she'll find it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Even if it's just a cat passing you on the sidewalk, you guys are probably soulmates or you met in a past life.
And see, I would just let that walk on by. I'd be like, cat, whatever. But you'd be like, did you feel that?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I thought that was a mosquito bite. And you'd be like, no, that's your soulmate.
Yeah, that's a connection, bro.
It's a real connection. Without Cass, I don't feel the connections. I'm just dots.
That's it.
No,
That's
no
it.
connects.
Wow, that's a great analogy. We're a connect the dot.
I'm just dots. Someone's got to connect them.
Ooh, that's why we work well as a team, you know?
Yeah. Cass is the pencil. I'm the dots. Well, Cass, as much as I feel like we really got into twin flames last week, I feel like I sent us on a random course into some of my old friends and maybe didn't quite give the definitions that hold your kind of standard. I was wondering if this week you wanted to give listeners a super like bare bones breakdown of what the hell we're even talking about when we're talking about soulmates.
Oh, I would love to, Justin, because there are actually so many different types of soul connections that we hear about out there in the ether. So I'll just do a little breakdown of like the top three that kind of circulate.
Top three? Is this like
Yeah.
is there like a big book that you have that's just like every kind of relationship, or is this like sort of like a broad terminology?
This one, oh, I should really get a book because there are probably so many. But these are like the ones that I've been like diving into recently or that have always kind of stuck with me that I kind of resort to when I like meet people.
Mm,
Um, so this is, so first one we got here, Justin, is soulmate.
soulmate. I thought it was the only
So
one.
yeah, okay, so this I feel like is usually what we first come up with. I think like when we're growing up and you meet your first love interest usually, I feel like we were always like, "Oh, is this person my soulmate?" A lot of people think that soulmates are like your other half that like complete you.
Mm-hmm.
So my little definition here. So a soulmate, someone who can be platonically or romantically connected to your soul throughout lifetimes as a companion, someone you have a unique bond with. You help each other grow, prosper, and heal during your journey in positive ways.
Mm, I like that.
And then we're going for a twin flame,
That was our
which we
last
talked
episode.
about last episode. So, a twin flame is someone who shares the same soul as you and is a catalyst to your spiritual awakening.
Okay, you got
So,
to unpack that for me.
yeah, so I feel like there was last summer, I was pretty knee deep in twin flames, and there was like a big part of me that was like, maybe I met my twin flame. This is crazy. Um, but I believe the term here is like, unlike a soulmate, you are both separate souls coming together to help each other grow. Whereas a twin flame, it is said to be like you're the same soul, just divided in half, and it's kind of like
Hmm.
looking for your other half basically to kind of come back into one. And it's there's like the divine feminine energy and then divine masculine energy. So there's like these two separate energies, the masculine and the feminine, that are separated and that come together to kind of make like one complete twin flame.
It's so funny because I don't think they called it that, but it reminds me of back in our first episode when I did some research into Plato and some of the Greek stories, and one of them was
Right. Yeah.
that they split mankind in half because we were these combined, feminine and masculine energies, and then it was like to keep humans either from becoming our best selves or like gods. They separated us, so we spent the rest of our lives just searching for our other half.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree. But those things are so interesting because I also think that we can kind of get lost if we keep trying to search for another half, and not really focusing to be like, oh, we're actually already whole ourselves. So something that I believe,
Mm.
and um, you don't necessarily need somebody to completely complete you. You're already full, and then that other
Hmm.
person just kind of adds to your life.
Especially when we think of this as, like, as you said, we have soulmates, we have these other relationships going on in our lives. It's like I no longer, or I'm feeling less and less the need to like look for the other half of my soul.
Mm-hmm. And it's like kind of cool concept to think that uh, there's more than one soulmate. I feel like sometimes that gets a little, you feel a little uneasy about that because you're like, oh, there's got to be more, like it's just one person. But then when someone's like, actually, you could have a handful of soulmates, it's interesting to see how that feels when you say that or when you think that to yourself. I think at first I
Mhm.
was very shocked. I was like, no,
Well,
I
and
only
now
have one, man.
yeah, it makes me feel more like positive and active, sort of like in the lame version of like there's more fish in the sea. It's like if I can without even looking, if I can find soulmates and connections and relationships that way, then maybe, and who cares if not, but maybe one day I smash into my twin flame and the rom-com begins. But if
Mm-hmm.
not, I don't think that's any worse or better. It's just your story.
Yeah, that's right. And then you get a cool partner to like be on your journey with you.
Yeah, it's just a different journey, you know? Some people
That's
I
it.
think I've met, I'm like, oh, you definitely smashed into your twin flame, and that's
Oh,
cool.
that's lovely. Yeah.
But I
And
also
actually, I
think that,
feel
yeah,
like some soulmates that we'll listen to today on the pod, I think have definitely smashed into their other half, which is pretty cool. Or their soulmate, rather.
100%. And my
Yes.
jealousy is rampant for them.
I know, right? Okay, speaking of jealousy, that takes us into the third and final relationship that I want to touch base on is
Okay.
karmic relationships. And they are um, all consuming and magnetic, but
Yeah.
often are characterized by really high highs and really low lows. While karmic relationships can feel intoxicating in the early stages, they are often not healthy in the long term and often don't last long term to begin with.
Oh, I'm a pro. I'm a pro at karmic relationships.
Right? Oh my gosh, Kate, Justin. Also, this is so funny. An ill fated soul connection that is meant to mirror your darkest energies and redirect your soul trajectory towards your highest good. But then this last line is killer. Not before destroying a part of you. It's so dramatic for a
Wow.
karmic relationship.
I like that though, because maybe that makes more sense of why we feel so battered and bruised and a little we got to put ourselves back together after certain relationships.
Yeah, and I think these like three in particular, I think get so intertwined with each other that if you are going by like, oh, what is this? A soulmate connection, a twin flame connection, or a karmic relationship? I sometimes think that it brings clarity. Like you might think, oh, this is a soulmate, but then you actually realize, oh, this feels more like a karmic connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to do a little relationship therapy, little
That's it.
define. You got to define the relationship. And sometimes it's as easy as going, look, they're a soulmate. This person, it's a karmic relationship. I'm not going to get too high. I'm not going to get too low. But you know what? When they hurt me, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, that's it. And actually, Justin, I have some more fun things I did. Top 8 signs on how you can find or how you can tell between the three different relationships.
Okay, so this is like a hypothetical, like Chad and Diane.
That's right. Like, oh, what are we? Okay, so this is what I found. Your top 8 signs you found your soulmate. Number 1, you just know. And I was like, okay, like if I hear that one more time, honestly,
You just fucking
you
know.
just
Get out of
know.
here.
Number 2, you're your best friends.
Okay, I know
Uh,
that.
Number 3, you feel a sense of calm when you're around them.
Okay, that's
Number
doable. Yeah.
Number 4, you have extreme empathy for them.
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
number 5, you respect each other.
If that's just being friends, that's
Yeah,
just great.
yeah,
That's great.
that's
I
it.
love this.
6, you balance each other out.
Interesting. I feel like, yeah. I feel like a lot of my relationships are like a little bit of a balancing act.
Right? Yeah,
I don't think
okay.
I've dated. I don't think I've truly dated Justin. Like I haven't like woke up and been like, oh, I'm dating like 100% Justin energy. Like
Like for
if you dated
yourself?
a full on Cassie,
Oh, I see. Like the other person was like
yeah,
your.
yeah.
Yes. I don't think I have either, actually.
I mean, maybe it's like wild to say that as like an experiment. I don't know if you could actually go out there and look, but it's just like, hey, you seem like me. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Or when you know what I love too when you see people that look exactly the same, but like it's
I see
like
it all
they're
the
just
time.
like slightly different versions, and like people are side by side. You're like, you guys look the exact same. You're gonna go far.
I also like to play that game of brother, sister, or couple. Like, are they siblings or are they a couple? And it's a surprising game,
Oh my god, that's so good.
especially when they kiss and you're still not sure. You're like,
Oh yeah, could go either way. It's
could go
up in
either
the
way.
air.
They're just close. Sibling to
um,
tongue.
is that another episode? We still have a few more left.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a bonus special. Siblings who tongue.
Okay, just the number 7. You agree about the important things. So I guess like you're saying, oh, okay, and then number 8, you share the same life goals. So that's like
Okay.
how you met a soulmate. They're calm, they're peaceful. You feel like you're best friends around them. You know, you got a good
That's, you know,
connection.
they just feel like a therapist who you make out with.
Yeah, that's right. And
That's what I'm looking for. Any
uh,
therapists out there? Single?
that's right. Yeah. Okay, and then so your twin flame, and okay, this is also another thing too. Soulmates, you can have many of them, and
Many.
twin flames, it says you're only meant to have another one because
I
it's
like
like
this
you're.
exclusivity of it. It's like
I
crazy.
know.
Like if the population of the Earth keeps growing, and yet twin flames are like, no, just the one.
That's yeah, that's right. That's right. You're like, okay, well, you're either my if you're not my twin flame, then you're either a soulmate or a karmic
Yeah,
relationship. But
and
then
it almost
also, how hard is it to find that one person?
it's bananas.
It
It's
is.
needles in a needle stack. It's not even a needle in a haystack. It's needles in a needle stack.
Okay, Justin. So these are your top 8 ways that you
Okay,
found your
these
twin
better be
flame.
different. These better be different.
When number 1, when you meet, you have instant recognition. Yeah, they
Okay.
feel familiar. 2, you're very similar.
Oh, not a balancing out. Okay, maybe. Okay, you're very
The
similar.
other
Okay.
Justin, yeah. 3, you complement each other.
Like, does that make better, or you go like, hey, your hair looks fly today?
I like the latter to that, like just being like, hey, you look great
Hey,
today.
it's a great
Thank
hat.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking for those compliments. Number 4, your insecurities and doubts are amplified.
What? That seems
Okay, so
negative.
this is where I'm gonna go. Like, okay, I'll finish these and then I will like jump back to my thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
Number five, they feel magnetic. So I think like you're just continuously just drawn to them. Number
Yeah.
six, the relationship is tumultuous. How tumultuous?
Tumultuous. Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
Tumultuous. Ooh, that's intense.
Number seven, the relationship is very intense. Took the words right out of my mouth, Justin. And number eight, you keep coming back together.
Oh no.
So this is where I think it gets very confusing between twin flames and karmic relationships because they almost seem the exact same in the sense that I feel like people sometimes uh, have the guise of twin flame over the relationship when really it's actually like a karmic because it's like, oh, this person is showing me all my shadows and all my
Mm,
wounds. And you're like, okay, well, they must be mirroring back to me things that I need to work on. And I think that a lot of people stay in twin flame relationships when really I feel like there's only one person giving, really, and the other person is like not really into the relationship, but there's kind of one person who's always chasing. And then
mm,
it's kind of like you just feel really bad and insecure about yourself, but you're like, it's okay because this is a twin flame. And this is where I think that sometimes labeling relationships like this kind of can put you in a place where a relationship is kind of hurting you rather than lifting you up, even for the sake of a twin flame, which
yeah.
is
You know what? I like that
something.
as a statement for our podcast on love is it's like, look, even if you're with your twin flame, doesn't mean that it's forever. Doesn't mean that that's it. Just
Yeah.
because you found the one, go to your number two.
Yeah, man. And also, if you guys aren't working together, and it's also like one person who's like, okay, I'm in this twin flame relationship, but I'm doing all the work, that's not really fair either. I feel like you
No,
can't just kind of keep sitting around and waiting for your person to come
no,
around. But
no. They might be a
so,
mosquito this lifetime. Like, I'm not going to date a mosquito.
right, right. Or that cat.
That cat, you're like, look,
Yeah.
we can be pals, but like, it's going to be weird. I can't marry you. It's not going to happen. But
Not,
I also
yeah.
like this idea of like,
Yes.
if you could 100%, they gave you like a form, know your twin flame, and still like give an FU to the universe and go, look, I really love you, but I don't think it's going to work out. Like, imagine breaking up with your twin flame and being like, you hear that, universe?
Ah!
What would they do? They'd be like, that was the one. And they'd be like, I don't care. I don't want the one.
Wow. Wow. Yes, that's I'm shocked by that. I don't know why. Yeah.
maybe
Whoa.
I'm coming full circle. Maybe this is my lesson of love is looking the one in the eye and going, look, it's just not gonna work.
You know what it is? That's a mirror. That's like you just like looking at yourself. You know when you're like
Yeah,
you just your best relationship needs to be with yourself. So it's
it's for
even if
yourself.
you were to lose your twin flame,
You got
you
you.
still got yourself. Yeah.
You got you. New love is
You got
merch.
you.
You got you.
Yeah, you got you.
All
Uh,
right,
okay,
listeners,
Justin, and our
wait
last
for
top.
yes, our
Yeah,
last topic.
yeah. Our last topic is for karmic relationships. If you
Okay,
are in a
I know
karmic
these.
relationship,
Fucking pro.
yeah,
Let's do
okay.
it.
All three of them though, there is an instant connection so far.
Yeah.
There's number two, lots of drama.
Oh, love drama.
Uh, Number three, things feel off early on.
Oh,
Number four, they make you feel frustrated.
oh, this person
Number
sucks.
five, they're addicting.
Oh, this person is sugar. You don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to be
it.
with them, but you want the little taste.
You can't let them go. Number six, there's a lot of miscommunication.
Mm.
Number seven, there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And number eight is usually like full of passion.
Oh man,
Very, yeah.
this is like a point for point my first relationship in university.
Oh, no
Woo!
way.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah. We just like things felt weird, a lot of drama, frustrated, but just I wanted them all the time, and there was always miscommunication, and
Oh, no
it
way.
was just like passion, and then like I hate you, and then this was I would categorize that as my dead boyfriend relationship.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, that was a big one. Whew. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, That's why I'm here. Rub salt in the wound. So
Ooh, karmic relationships hurt.
they do. Yes. Uh,
Well, Kaz, that's our main bullet points for all identifying what relationship you might be in, what
yeah.
mate you might have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that we've got, we'll call it the science, the logic, the info, the studious Cass on one side, I think it's time to hear it from the horse's mouth. This week, we've got actual soulmates talking about the only thing we like talking about. That's
Woo.
love.
That's love, baby.
Who do we got first, Cassie?
So coming up first, Justin, we actually have my best friend and soulmate, Justin, on today, whose soulmate just so happens to be myself. So this is a little interview between me and my pal, Justin.
That's right, listeners. We've got Cassie as a host and a guest. This one's gonna be special. Hey, folks. So, we've sort of been leading up to this all season. A word that makes some people squeamish, sometimes outright terrified, and others, hell, it sparks goddamn joy.
Woo! We are talking soulmates, and tonight with us we have Justin LaRue.
Returning guest and soulmate. How are you, my friend?
Fantastic. I'm doing just fantastic. How are you guys?
So good over here, Justin. We got such good feedback on your last, on some of your chats in our heartbreak episode. So we're so happy to have you back. Yeah, people loved it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I got lines like mended my broken heart, helped me through a tough time. Really lovely. Really lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of lovelies.
Say, is he still single? What does he look like? Do you have his number?
That's in the deep DMs. That's for our secret love episode.
Hook that up.
So, Justin, the reason why we brought you on today is because, listeners, get this. I am bold enough to say that Justin LaRue here is one of my soulmates.
Get it, girl?
Yeah.
Shut the front door. Shut the front door.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to add, I think the coolest thing about Justin and mine's relationship is that we've never been romantically involved. It's always been such a big, strong, friendship-based relationship, which I think is so cool. And I rarely have that with somebody of the opposite sex. So it's so cool.
And it's pretty deep. It's a lot of times we have the same feelings that pertain to different scenarios at the same time. Which is so strange.
Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah. So I live in Keswick. You live in Toronto. We're living our lives. Within the same day, we'll often go through these roller coasters of emotions. Then when we're talking to each other at night, we're like, get out. That's exactly how I felt. And then it transitions into a different feeling. You're like, how the fuck did that happen? Because the flow was the same throughout the whole day. Or we'll think about each other and somebody will call.
Yes,
right?
That happens to us.
I don't know if that's frequency. I don't know if that's an energetic component of our relationship, but the whole twin flame thing is a really cool concept. A soul that's been split in half.
So is one of you like the moon and one of you is the tide kind of deal?
No, I think we're both the moon and the tide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. There's just magnets going back positive, negative, positive, negative.
Yeah, I think, okay, speaking of, look at this. Justin has his water bottle. I have mine. But, hey, soulmate.
What? You guys. No, it's just a beer that looks like it's got stickers on it. Damn. Okay, well, that's all well and good. But now I need to, before we get off the rails, now I feel like I'm the singular host. Tell us how you met, how you got here. Tell us your story.
It's a great first question, Justin, because me and Justin both have different stories of how we met, which is really funny as soulmates to be like, no, my story is right. Okay, Justin, how about you go ahead and you tell the listeners how we met, quote unquote.
Okay, I don't know if I'm going to tell my story or your story because I've heard your story so many times and I'm confused as well. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Is yours the green box
That's
or?
mine. Yeah, mine's the green box.
I was going to say the green box one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I was sitting on my swing set in my backyard, and then we had neighbors 2 doors down named Chris and Jen who were a little bit older than we were. Were you even friends with them?
No, I think I was. Yeah, like here and there. I was like, oh, they're my age, and I could hang out with them.
They like brought you over, and they're like, "Hey, this is Cassie," and then that the rest is history.
How old?
4.
4 years old.
4?
Mm-hmm. We lived across the street from each other.
I'm trying to pick out a memory from. Oh, I'm so bad at math. We're 32. Now I'm embarrassed because I can't figure it out quickly. 28.
28 years. We've known each other for 28 years.
I'm trying to like pick out a memory from 28 years ago. It's still vivid in my mind, but I don't know if it's a lie or not.
Yeah, no, I get you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you take yours.
So, and then how I always remember it, for me, Justin is always my very first friend that I can remember. Like, oh, he's the first guy that I talked to, and he has been my friend for this long. And I remember he was sitting on a green box, like he had a green box on his front lawn. And I remember he was sitting there, and I just remember coming up to him and just sitting down. And did we play tag or something? I think I just came over and was like, oh, hey. And then,
if I could remember if we played tag, I have a different story of how we met.
Okay, yeah. But so it's either the green box or the swings, but it was 28 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not to say I don't like the friends coming over. I like the green box. I feel like that's the movie beginning. It's just like a 4-year-old with her pail or whatever, and then she looks and there's just like this like zen. There's some weird quality about this boy sitting on a box.
Wasn't your brother with you too?
I was gonna say, I feel like my brother's friend lived beside Justin's house, and I feel Marco, and so I feel like I could have been crossing the road with my brother, and my brother was like, "Hey, go here." Now I'm making up the story. I was riding a giraffe, and I saw him.
Is your brother still friends with the kid next door?
No, they're not. I think there was a falling out. They
that
are
would
not
have been
soulmates.
excellent.
What's that?
Have you asked Anthony if he can recall that memory?
I should. I will.
Yeah, why haven't you? That's crazy.
I'll call him up right now.
We'll get an addendum to this. We'll get an addendum. We'll add this to the end of the episode where it'll be like, Anthony, do you remember the green box? He'll be like, green box doesn't exist.
Yeah,
he was on a blue box. You were wearing giraffe pajamas, and I still fucking hate the guy who lived next door.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just assume your brother's as aggressive as I am. Let me fucking tell you. It's probably a sweetheart.
Marco was crazy though.
He was. I remember he was really good at soccer.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was always like balancing the ball.
Okay, so that's how you met.
Yeah.
How the hell did we get here? It's 28 years. How did we get here? Cole's notes.
I guess we just went to the same schools. Well, I mean, regardless of school, we lived across the road from each other. So we hung out like every single day.
Mm-hmm.
For how long did you guys live across from each other?
I think I was 16 when we moved.
Mm-hmm.
What a weird day.
It was. I remember being really sad because it's so true. I would go over to Justin's house every morning, and we would walk over to our bus stop that was like just down our block together every day in elementary school. So like that was like my first thing. I would like leave my house, go to Justin's, pick him up, and then we would just walk down the street. And then in high school, his mom, Sue, is an angel, and she would drive us every day in the morning to high school. And so I would just again like get out of my house and then just like walk over to his house. And then after school, I would like literally get off the bus and then just go over to Justin's house. And we would or I would go home, drop my bag off, and then just like go over to Justin's, have snack, do homework, watch SpongeBob. It was like
play anything.
Yeah.
Mermaids, Power Rangers.
Yeah. We used to put sleeping bags on our bottom halves and like go on the floor and pretend to be mermaids and just go along the basement. That's how you know it's a soulmate. Yeah.
So my big question about soulmates, because I feel like, you know, it's all well and good. Does this beautiful childhood relationship get in the way of like other friendships when you were kids, or was it just like you guys had your time and then you guys also had other time for friends?
It's a really good question. I think for me, I don't think there was ever a jealousy aspect. And I think which is really cool about my relationship with Justin too is that I never feel jealous about anybody else that he ever interacts with, because I really do feel that the connection that we have is so like genuine that there's nothing that I fear about the connection, knock on wood. But I really do feel like he will be in my life forever and on such a deep level. And I think even this idea of Justin being my soulmate maybe even came just a few years ago as I was like learning about soulmates, because usually when you think about a soulmate, you think it always has to be like a significant other or it has to be a romantic partner. And so I was like, oh well, Justin and I have never been that, so he couldn't be a soulmate. But then I think when you kind of even learn about like a soul family or people that you just connect with right away, I do feel that if you believe in like reincarnation or people always kind of coming back to each other from different lifetimes, I really do believe that Justin and I are that for each other. And I think I'm getting goosebumps. I think one thing that is so cool in my own life is that I got to meet Justin so early in my life, and that he was always like a companion for me to regardless on our journeys. It's so cool. I really do feel like his support and his love in every aspect. Yeah, I feel so lucky actually to just have him in my life. And yeah,
It's definitely unconditional love. Like I don't think you could do any wrong, honestly. You could kill somebody and I'd be like, okay, well, let's just talk about it. Do you want
yeah,
to
yeah,
bury the body? Like,
yeah.
you probably deserved it.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
we're
right.
we're all about ride or dies here on Love.
That's
Yeah,
right.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Ride or die. Oh, it's beautiful that you say unconditional love, because I can't, like, especially over the timing of it, Cassie, because I can't think of another person other than my brother who I've spent like my whole life with.
Hmm.
Like my younger brother is the only person who I've known for 28 years, his lifetime.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, which is wild. So I'm just like, oh yeah, we have unconditional love, but we had to go through the fact that we were forced to be friends. Now we're genuinely good
Yeah.
friends and love each other. My mom was always like, you guys. And I was like, if I met Jamie as an adult, I'd probably be like, fuck this nerd. But now I'm like, this guy's like my sweet little
Yeah.
brother, and he kind of acts like me, and he plays drums. Of course, I love him, but I'm like, I don't know if we would have been friends just naturally. So that's super cool.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting thing too, because we started off as like friends and like we weren't family, so there was like never that like hate. And I don't even actually think we've ever like had
There's one
like a
fight.
oh yeah, we had one fight. Okay, which one is it, Justin? Which one are you thinking?
Slide?
Yeah, like in my
Yeah, this one?
backyard. Yeah,
In whose backyard?
in my backyard or
No,
your
in my
backyard?
backyard.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, here we are. Oh,
Yeah,
there we
our
go
first
again.
fight. Here it is. Yeah.
There's
All
also
our
the
memories
second fight.
are wrong. Like,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was on. We like would put water down the slide, and then I was probably being a little asshole and like butt you or something. I was trying to make up rules. Then you got mad and you were gonna go home, and I was like, "No, come back." And
oh,
then,
that's right.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, okay. I turned around and
and
then.
then yeah, nothing happened after that.
Mm. Fast to fight, quick to forgiveness. That's what I like.
I don't think we've
That's
ever
it.
fought. There's nothing that would like make me mad to not again want to support you or be involved in a potential solution or even just an open ear. And that's probably that's evolved a lot since we've gotten into our adult ages, because we've been through so much and we've kind of always been there for each other. More so now in the last what 3 years since shit has hit the fan in both of our lives, which has been cool because again it's support. Like I get more out of our conversations than I do out of my therapist, who's helpful, but he doesn't know me the same way you do. So you can give me that. What's it called when you're giving shit? It's like unfiltered. I'm blanking on the word.
Advice.
It's like it's unbiased.
Unbiased.
What is there? There's a word for that.
We said it at the same time. Yeah.
I'm my oh
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, soulmates.
My place if I need to be put in my place.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
yes, I
usually
see.
don't want to hear because I need to hear it without me getting mad. It's always like respected. It's like, here's the other side of the coin. Maybe you should take a look at that rather than being so close minded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I get you.
Come on, Cassie. This is the
Yeah.
ultimate. He's actually lying. He's just hoping that you have the word.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mhm.
All right. So obviously, this will be slightly different for every partnership that we talk to on this episode. But what do y'all think defines people being meant for one another?
Their ability to connect in like times of happiness and anger and sadness and joy. I think in all of the emotions, the ability to love unconditionally, not judge and support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a selective. It's not a. It's not a. It's a full pass. It's a VIP pass. It's not just a seat. You're there for the whole thing.
Yeah, it's ride or die. Again, I think the unconditional love part is kind of like a family member or somebody that you'd want out of a family member. It's just supporting you regardless of your actions or regardless of the circumstance that you're in, and somebody that can help guide you when you need it and listen when you need to talk.
Mm-hmm. How's the definition work for you, Cass?
Can you ask the question again? That was so well said.
Yeah, what do you think defines people being meant for one another?
Yeah, I think the first thing I think of too, I like how Justin said connection defines bringing people together. Um, it's it is so interesting because I think you get that vibe with people and then you don't get that vibe with people. And I think I almost feel like if we do think of everybody's like a frequency or an energy, it's just kind of like people that are on your same wavelength. And I think that uh, Justin and I have always kind of been on that same wavelength. Um, and yeah,
How do we
I
maintain that same wavelength the entire time?
I think that's a good question too because I was thinking about that as well.
And right now, it feels like it's so fine tuned,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that that is kind of goes with like your growth too as well because I think we're both kind of we have similar values and similar goals,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of see the world in a very similar way. So I think those things keep us together. Like I feel very much like my most true self around you as well, which is very cool. Like you know how there's like some aspects people you can only show certain parts of yourself to, whereas I think for Justin, I feel like very honest and very bare, like without acting or anything. Like I could show up and be my silly, dumb self and not have to hold back to any regard. And I think that that's a very cool thing. Whereas like in certain relationships that you're in, I feel like you maybe cater to people to a certain degree without even really realizing it. Whereas like with Justin, there's no fear of how I'm gonna be perceived when I like talk to him or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
It's
good
authentic.
to show
Mm-hmm.
the shadows too.
Yeah, that's
we have
true.
we have dark sides that we don't like to expose because we're either embarrassed of them or don't always understand what they mean or how other people will look at us, and that's not. I mean, we've definitely worked through some shit together and have got to the point where like exposing those is no big deal. We often make jokes about them, um, but have helped each other through so much of appreciating and respecting ourselves and shining light and loving those parts of us, where we can integrate those into our lives to make our lives richer together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that's really important. If you can't do that with a partner or with anybody, then I don't know. I feel like you're kind of living, not living a lie, but not living an optimal life to its fullest potential.
Mm-hmm. So to that effect, it makes me think. I mean, green box story aside,
Mhm.
do you think that you find it or it finds you? And maybe you both have different answers.
For me, I would say I think that Justin and I, because I believe in all of this kind of stuff, I think that we were like destined to find each other. And I honestly feel like I have a comforting thought that regardless wherever I go, whether it be after this life or whatever, I feel like I will always find him on some level or at some level. And I feel like that is so cool to me. I think that whether it be like written in the stars or before we even came here, we like signed a contract and like shook hands and be like, okay, see you in 4 years and on the green box, or whether it be like on the swings. But
I bet you can remember.
that would be so cool. We'll
We
work
need
on
to
that.
talk
Yeah.
to this man about our previous lives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had one time I went to a psychic and they said that in a previous life I was like a prisoner. And then Justin went to the same psychic and then he was told that he was also a prisoner. And then we were like, imagine we were cellmates together. Like,
It's the same story. We're just like, oh my God.
yeah, she tells everybody the
Like,
same thing.
Yeah. You were a prisoner. You feel cool? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
That would be our luck. Like
That would be, yeah, that's something we'd fall for sure.
Yeah,
They say
she saw you a mile away. These people care about each other. I'll put them in the same cell.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Justin, do you agree? Do you think? I guess I don't know how Cassie answered that. Was that you found it?
I think it found us. I think
it found you.
I think
Okay.
yeah, I think it found us.
I think it's a bit of both. Because like,
I love it.
yeah, it finds us. Do we not then also find it?
Mm-hmm. It's like the forest and the trees, right? You got to see it if it's there.
I don't know that analogy. Tell me.
It's like that old saying, like, can you see the forest for the trees? It's like it's right there, but can you really make it out? Like, can you tell that it's a forest? I think that's how the saying goes. Is it just you have to identify what you're looking at, or same thing of like if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? I guess if you hear it, it does.
Right.
Did you find love or did it find you? Well, I noticed that it was standing outside going like this.
Yeah. So right. So
Yeah.
like, you find it or did it find you? I think it can be both.
Like chicken or egg.
Yeah, but like regardless, it's going to happen. So like, is it inevitable?
Well, then I worry about, maybe it's like anti-Cassie, which I prefer yours, is that I'm like, if there's a moment and you don't engage with it, if it's gone, like there was like making love more like elusive of being like, you did see the green box boy, but what if you just kept walking? Your brother didn't have a friend on that blog.
That would break my heart, honestly. If imagine that day didn't play out, either one of our days that we think was our day that we met never played out. Oh, that's such a sad thing to think about.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like if I was sitting on the green box.
Yes. Or if I didn't get brought over by
Oh, well, then we would have
Christian.
met later. Like again, it's just inevitable.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, whew.
That moment doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
Mhm.
we cross the road and we're just like, yeah, fuck that girl.
Yeah.
I feel like there's tons of like, I would say like I forget the director, but like Spirited Away type movies, where there's like tons of like Japanese stuff where like if the train is moving, doesn't matter when you get on the train. Like, yes, you guys would have met at 16. You'd have maybe less of years attached to your relationship, but you'd still be in a similar spot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like I like to think that you could like meet your soulmate. You could still be meeting soulmates at 85. I would hope that never ends. You're like, oh, I wish I met you when I was 20. It's like, well, you met me now.
Be cool.
It'd be cool. So, here we go. This is what I got. I feel like you guys have already given so much, but I have this in quotations in my notes. You have any sage soulmate wisdom for those of us out there searching for love, for a soulmate, searching for our green box boy or our brought over by friends girl?
I don't know. Again, this is where I don't know if you need to look for it. I think you just do you. Like, be the best person that you are and be so true to who you are, regardless of other people's opinions and shit. And it'll attract what you deserve or what you need. Again, I think at that age, maybe this is a theory, because we were so like young and raw at 4, you're just attracting whatever you like you're not pretending to be somebody else because you don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
But maybe it was just such a raw kinetic energy that like, okay, here, this girl, me, we're in line, we sync up. Maybe we saw each other's aura. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you just need to connect with who you really are and then attract whatever that person or energy is to you.
Yeah. And I like that, like, again, I love that you guys are so young. It's like, yeah, there's no filter. It's why I think we learn so much at those ages. It's just like, I like that.
Yeah, there's
It's very pure.
no judge. There's no.
Yeah. There was no you guys being 17 and maybe being like, I mean, like, we could be friends. She's pretty cool. But like, I don't know. I'm busy. There's no judgment like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just, you want to get in sleeping bags and be mermaids.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I just have also just a general question for Justin about soulmates, and actually for both the Justins. Like, what is a soulmate to you? And also, do soulmates necessarily stay in your life forever?
Who are you asking?
That's a question to the crowd. So we could do it two. First, like, what is a soulmate to you? Like, what is your definition of soulmate?
I feel like soulmates would be eternal. So time on Earth might, again, maybe you don't sync up the way you're not supposed to because there's nothing you're supposed to do, but maybe you don't sync up the way you would think soulmates need to be on Earth, where you're together all the time, blah, blah, blah. But in the span of eternity, what's 100 years on Earth? It might not be. It might be like a blink of an eye. We have no idea.
Right.
You're not actually missing that much. Maybe it comes together somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's a soulmate. Soulmate is like gravity. Components like that. You know they exist, but I don't know how it works or how to define it. I've been told that it's the fact that things fall to earth, but I don't know. Who's telling the truth? It just is. It is just something that is. Sky doesn't fall. The sun sets every day. Soulmates are out there.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
Because then I also feel like it's different. Like I think there's like other things you guys have all said are all fundamentally in that world, but what it specifically is to each people is just defined by that like energy, that person, right? Yeah. So it's like the same. Like again, it's like I like the idea of like frequency or like note. It's like love is music, but soulmates are like individual notes that match up.
I'm curious to hear other people's rendition of what a soulmate is to them.
Yeah, me too.
We'll get them.
Yeah.
Ezzy, do you have any more? There's just so much. There's just so much a breadth of material right there.
Yeah. Any other really good? Yeah, I think just. I just think what is so cool and why I'm just so grateful for our relationship is that it's just so cool to have somebody like Justin in my life and like somebody that I have like this really cool, genuine connection with that we've like always just felt from the very beginning. And I really love, I'm so grateful to have him in my life and to grow with him. And I think it's really cool. Like he also inspires me when I like see him doing his stuff and I'm like, okay, yeah, like get it, girl. Okay. I'm gonna strap my boots up and like do the work too as well. So I think it's really cool because I think we're both each other's cheerleaders in a really cool way. So
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Especially right now, I feel like growth is what is kind of pushing us and moving us forward in our lives.
yeah,
It's
big
such a
time.
motivator for me right now.
Yeah, same.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think like the a clear marker of like soulmates in a way, and you guys have touched on it just now with like growth and stuff, is like, yeah, it's like I feel like I can love tons of people and I have and those experiences, but there is sometimes a finite limit to that love because there's like a chapter ends or something happens or a shift and stuff. But being there for people's shifts, being there for like the long game of who a person becomes, for better or worse, is like such like another level. Like if like love is, not to say love is tier one, but to say that there's like a tier above that, and not to like grade things, but like that soulmates might be this like next level of like, yeah, I loved that person. What happened to them? And not that again that soulmates can't like come and go, but I feel like there's something like deeper that like if they go away, it's like, well, I'm sure we'll come around the sun again together at some point.
I think you have to, because people die, like bodies die,
Yeah.
right? So whether you believe in whether it's reincarnation or whatever, I think your energy stays in the universe in some manner, whether you go back to the source energy, I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
that's the curious part, right? Like how do you sync up so perfectly?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're fucking stardust, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Woo, Justin, it was so nice. I am so grateful for my best friend, Justin. He is the best, and I'm so happy that we got to share our story.
Yeah, I came in understandably a little jealous, but I came out just, just a lot happier. Hearing two best friends talking about being friends, soulmates, like most things on this show. I go in the Grinch and I come out, heart's a little bit bigger.
Yes, this is what it's all about, man.
That's what it's all about, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. And so, who do we have coming up next, Justin?
And tonight we have with ourselves my great friends, old as I can remember, Hillary and Dane. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
We are here to talk about soulmates.
Aww.
Yes. And when I think of two people in my circle of my life, I think of you guys. Now I have a story about you guys. When I met both Dane and Hillary, it was at an arts camp in, I want to say 2006, 5 maybe.
Sounds right.
And I showed it. Yeah, that's about right. We were like 15, 16, something like that. No older than 16. And I remember, I think, so like I went there as like the only person from my school that was there. I was like, I'm going to make some friends. I'm going to make some art. It's going to be great. I didn't feel so cool at school. And then, not to make it about me, I remember meeting Dane and meeting Hillary, and I'm like, they seem super cool. Oh, they seem like friends. And then I also met someone separate from them where I was like, I'm super into this chick. I don't even know who this person is. So while I was watching Dane and Hillary be friends, because if I'm not mistaken, Hillary, you were like dating someone at the time. I feel like there was
Probably.
that's the vibe that I got, probably. And I don't know if Dane was, and something about maybe just us being boys where I was like, you know what? I think Dane likes Hillary, and I think they would be perfect together, and I don't know why. Also, I want someone to go on double dates with this girl that I just met with me, so we can all be friends in the hypothetical future that I have. Jump forward to university, and I'm sleeping on Dane's couch. I'm dating that girl from art camp.
Yes.
Dane is dating Hillary. And I'm like,
Oh.
how is this happening? It's all happening. I don't believe in manifesting, but I made it
dream.
happen. The dream was happening. We were drinking whiskey, going to our schools.
Oh yes.
It was like the lowest grade fantasy. It was like if a real adult looked back, they'd be like,
Yeah.
that doesn't look great at all. And long story short, yeah, we were in Winnipeg, the height of locations across the world. Paris, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I remember breaking up with this girl eventually, and Dane and Hillary were still strong. And then I can still remember the night that Dane and I were drinking in our like shared living space, and Dane was like, Hillary's
AKA
pregnant.
your bedroom.
my bedroom in the living room and tell me that Hillary was pregnant, and my only recourse was like, great, let's get blackout drunk.
Oh yeah.
Just so we can experience it all. Like, no, I want to like highlight the fact that I feel like I was just trying to be like, you know what, we're not gonna freak out and we're not gonna get excited. We're just gonna like feel everything. Long story short, to go back to the beginning, my like soulmate story about these two is just the fact that like for every stage of knowing them, I felt like they should be together. They were together, and now they have kids and are together. And I just feel responsible. Is what I
It's all because of you, man.
Yeah. Now,
Super cute story.
with that aside, if you guys may indulge Cassie and I, we'd like to know how you met. 'Cause I don't even know if I know that, and how you got here. You know, just tell us your story or your versions of your story.
Yeah. Well, we met in grade 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we would have been, what, 10 years old?
Yeah, 10, 11. Somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Same, that's small towns though, right? Like same class of 11 people from kindergarten to grade 12. And Dane moved to town when we were in grade 5. Yeah.
I hate to jump in. Was it like, oh, cool new guy, or was it like, whatever?
Oh, of course. Everyone thought Dane was so cool. He was really good at soccer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone thought
Dane was always so cool.
No.
Dane was
he
always.
was.
I even told the story. I was just like, when I met Dane, I was just like, I didn't have many friends, but I was like, that guy seems cool, and I was like, hey man, want to be friends? And he was like, I guess so. Why are you being so weird about it? Sorry, I digress. Keep going.
Yeah, grade 5. It's crazy. But we
Yeah,
didn't start dating till after we graduated.
No.
Yes.
I remember you asked me recently, oh, when did you start liking me, or when did you? I said, oh, grade 5.
Oh,
You know?
Oh.
yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
And did you start dating after grade 8 graduation or grade 12?
Grade 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We didn't have grade 8 graduation because we had a K to 12 school.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Not super common, I don't think, but very small town.
Oh,
Our grad
I love
class
that.
25 people.
So for Hillary, so for Dane, it was grade 5. When did you start liking Dane?
Well, yeah, I
yes, do tell.
mean, I was kind of not seeing somebody, but like talking to somebody, and it's really funny. The pictures from our grad, my brother-in-law was like to my sister, was like, who's this Dane guy? And my sister was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, look at all these pictures. In every picture, there's Dane.
Here I am.
And I was like, I don't know nobody. He's just a friend. And then like, I don't know, 2 weeks later we were dating. But I had no idea that Dane liked me. And he was like, he told me. And should I tell the story? It's a funny story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell it.
We were at a party and we left and we were sitting in his mom's car, and I think he told me.
This is gonna embarrass me.
Yeah.
No, you should tell it.
He told me that he knew me better than anybody ever knew me.
Oh man.
And that he loved me. And then he sang me a John Mayer song.
Yeah. I sang her "Your Body Is a Wonderland"
Oh, my
by
heart.
in my mom's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
And I was completely shocked.
that move. Classic.
I dreamed about that moment.
Yeah.
I pictured the guitar as like the whole time. It's like, did you notice the guitar's behind? There we
Wow.
Yeah.
Also,
So
a cappella?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. And so I went, wow, this guy really likes me. And he's a really good friend. I guess I'll give him a shot. And so that I did. But then I broke up with him a week later.
Yeah. Yeah.
A week or two later, But then I realized that I just missed talking to him, and then we got back together, and we've been together ever since.
You're sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been together for now? How many years?
12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
19.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 12 years.
I love
Crazy.
how I don't even know that story because I
Yeah.
filled it in. I was like, yeah, I was there for like chunks.
That's a deep one.
Yeah. It's so
That's
funny
beautiful.
Yeah.
though.
Time
I think
is
he
wild.
told me he loved me, and I told him to never say that to me ever again.
I came on a little strong, but it worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah.
You got like, you know, we've learned a lot on this show is that you gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah.
And did you ever?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yes.
Bold moves all the way
When you
through.
see your chance, take it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And why I've always thought Dane is super cool, and I pretend people think I'm cool, and I'm just like surface cool. Is the fact that I have set up those gestures and never gone through with them. I remember I was packing and moving to Toronto, and I found an old, like a CD that I burnt, and I like chaptered out all the way, like all the songs and ways that I cared about this one girl from my high school. This girl, Jackie, that I was in love with, and I was going to play it for her, and we were going to listen to it in her car. And every time I was about to do it, I was like, no, that's not, I'm not going to do that. But Dane would.
Yes.
Even better, he played one song and he did it himself.
And I bet he would sing the whole track. He wouldn't even have the CD. He'd just say, song 10, here we go.
It's been a while since I listened to John Mayer. Oh, man.
Yeah, at least years.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we know that the outro to this interview is going to be her body was
Big time.
It has to be. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
big time.
Big
John
time.
Mayer's going to be like, you're welcome. Not to give John Mayer any more credit for the amount of things that have happened as a result. I think he has the energy when he plays at concerts. He's just like, who's
Yeah.
It's true. Yes.
Yeah. People find their soulmates at John Mayer concerts.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, he's like texting, he's like getting broken up by Taylor Swift. He's just like, I fucked around. Her body is.
John
Oh
Mayer
my God.
Trio is so good, just as a YouTube special if anybody wants to.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
It's good. So good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we.
Dino Palladino.
So good. So we've got how you met. We've got kind of how you got here. We got your story. I like how I've worded this question for me. What would you say when Cassie says, Cassie, you want to finish up this thought?
Oh my God. You two are soulmates. You're meant for each other.
I don't know. What would you say? I want to know what you would say.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a true statement.
You think it's a true statement?
That we're soulmates?
Yeah.
Meant for each other?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
It's nice to hear.
That's why we're here. That's
This was your journey. Your
part
purpose.
of that's part of the plan that we would be together.
Oh.
You know.
So nice.
I am loving this so much. And I also have a question for you both. What is your definition of a soulmate to both of you? It could be individual or a group.
It's a
But
good question.
what would you classify as a soulmate, and what makes you each other soulmates to each other?
Soulmate.
You want to take a stab at that one?
I don't know. That's really hard. Honestly, I think a soulmate. I don't know. I feel like
What I don't think a soulmate is.
you go.
Are you?
No, you go.
Yeah. Seemed like you were.
I'm struggling.
Yeah. I don't think it's two people who are absolutely perfect for each other in every way right off the get-go. It's two people who
You make the decision.
who can grow together.
Yeah.
You know, I think you probably close a lot of doors to yourself if you're sitting there waiting for that one perfect person who's, you know, already complete,
I agree.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's somebody that
You
you know,
decide.
will help complete you in your life, and you do the same for them, and you go to new levels together.
Yeah, together. I think it's a conscious decision, though. I don't think it's this like, I don't think it's a fate thing. I think you decide, like, yeah, we're gonna do this together. Because I think it's being in a relationship for a long term is hard. And you know, you can love each other so much, but there's always going to be bumps in the roads, and so you have to have made that decision that, like, yeah, this is it, this is for real, and we're just going to make it work no matter what. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A lot of love, though, too. That helps.
Yeah, that helps.
Makes it easier.
Yeah, I love that growth. That it actually made me.
I don't know if
line.
I don't know if we answered your question or not.
Oh no,
Perfectly.
that was perfect. So
if there was like
perfect.
a word, you know, those word bubbles that shows up like the most important word. I saw grow. I saw actually what it made me think of. There's this this line from this comedian Mike Birbiglia where he talks about meeting like his now wife, and he was just like, and we sat in the back of this taxi and we held hands, and it was like someone was placing two pieces of a broken paper heart together.
Oh,
Like I love that sentiment that it's like, you think you even said the word complete is like, it's like taking people who aren't finished yet,
yeah,
and forming whatever that shape is.
absolutely.
Yeah, you're, whatever the end result is it's going to be the two of you together, not just an individual result.
Like not stapling two hearts together. It's like this amalgamation of shapes or
I think
whatever
it's
image
a tree that like grows all gnarled together.
Yeah, I love that. Like they can't survive unless they support one another.
Yeah.
I forget what that's called, but yeah. Oh, that tears me up.
Yeah, and I love that idea as well, because I think when people think soulmates, I feel like a lot of people think it's going to be rainbows and butterflies, but it's a challenge, and it is that decision to be like, okay, we're in this together. I got you, you got me, so let's do this. Let's buckle up and plow on together. And I think that so often when we think of soulmates, we do think of that kind of fairy tale ending or that kind of beautiful ending, but it's like, yeah, it's a struggle that you just do together. And I think it's nice to know that people out there are still like deciding and working together through the hard times, and you have that person. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, exactly. I think it took me a long time to realize, like, okay, I can be honest and not have to worry that like Dane's gonna leave, or it takes a long time to realize that.
I couldn't do better.
That's really nice. But to be able to know, like, okay, I'm safe here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I like that sense of safety.
Yeah, I think that's very important as well.
Yeah, it's like it's so much bigger because it's the sustaining thing, but like I always hate to always return things to like performing and like creating shows and stuff, but it's like in a short period of time, the projects that have worked for me are the ones that feel like as close to like a pocket of love, where I have a group of people where I can like risk and fail and make mistakes in that small pocket of time. That's why it's so hard sometimes to let projects go. Is just like, oh, I think briefly I felt like real true love because clearly I like put it all on the line. But to do that over and over with people,
you made a sacrifice, right? That's you gave a part of yourself.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I feel like there's something in this soulmate thing. It's like showing up every day that you guys could, like, you know, just the act of showing up every day is a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, and it's a sacrificial thing too, and just a giving of yourself, which seems like doesn't sound like a very fun thing to do, but it's super, super blessed to be able to do that.
It's like the greatest gift, I feel, to you. To know that you'll always be there to support me and help me. Right?
Yeah. Like I got that from when we were talking Cassie, with you and Justin, is like that was a big thing that kept coming up. Was just like there's nothing really that you could do. Like the other person's showing up there for you. It's like, there's
regardless of the situation. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we put it like that. It sounds so cheap, but like your ride or die. You've got your ride or die.
Yeah, totally.
Where are we putting the body? Honey, where are we putting the body?
I asked Dane, so this is really funny. A few years ago, so I really am into true crime.
Oh yeah.
And I asked Dane, I was like, okay, for real, if I killed somebody, do you think that you would go to the cops? Like, would you turn me in? Or would you help me? And he sat there for a while. He thought. And at the time, he worked at an engineered landfill. So you took like what, oil field waste?
Yeah.
So he was like, well, I guess I'd take the body to the landfill. He's like, I could disappear a body. Yeah. And then he was like, didn't you hear? Or there's like
what was I thinking?
There's like a famous, not a famous, but two people went missing sort of in and around between here and Edmonton. So like within a 3-hour vicinity. And there's a story that the body ended up at the landfill that Dane worked at. He's like, well, I think there might have been a body here at some point. I could probably, I'd take care of that for you. Like, all right, good to know.
Cross it off the list.
That's love right there. That's soulmate love.
Not just a yes or a no. I love when the yes is in the plan. It's just like, would you help me or turn me in?
Yeah, well,
we could probably drop the bodies at the oil. So that's it. We're in. You're in.
Yeah. After 10 p.m., nobody's there. So yeah.
I'm the first one in, last one to leave. Covered,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. Funny little anecdote.
Yeah. I think you guys have given us so much already, but it's like if there was like the icing to this like soulmate cake, if you will, if you guys have any like individual or again together, some like sage, I say in quotations, like soulmate wisdom for those of us out there still in the search for what you, I would say, have found.
Soulmate wisdom.
Yeah.
Well, mine would be that, I don't think there is, that perfect person for you. If you're always looking for the perfect person, you're never going to find them. You sort of just have to be willing to work together and accept each other's flaws and be willing to work at it. That's what I think. Because it's so rewarding if you do put in that work. That's what I think.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement. For sure. Like the idea that there's some perfect person out there in the world for you that you just haven't found yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Probably just such a downer on the like fairy tale idea.
No, I love that. I think I why I love this so much too is I'm so very much the other side. So I'm like, oh my God, it's fated. Somebody's gonna come in, my heart's gonna explode, and then we're gonna like go on a horse ride into like the sunset. So I like love this because this is, I feel very grounded and very
it's interesting too because at the same time I very much do believe in fate.
I think that it can be like that in the beginning. The like honeymoon phase of a relationship. But then I think sort of once that fizzles, then you go, okay, is this something that I really want to commit to? I think if there's that Dawes song, what does he say? Once the fire died a bit, I found out who I was really dealing with, sort of thing. It's sort of like once that sort of settles, that like fluttery love feeling, and you're like, okay, we're gonna keep going, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only so much gasoline to throw on a fire, you know. You gotta be happy with wood. These are my love metaphors. It's my Keith Otto showing. You gotta be happy with wood, you know.
That's a good song that you quoted. It's called like I Can't Love You Anymore.
Ooh, I gotta. Oh, now we got
I'm gonna write
competing
that down.
songs. Now we got competing songs.
Than I Do Right Now.
Than I Do Right Now, yeah. So it's really, I can't love you any more than I do right now.
Oh,
This is it. It's all the love. You're just getting it all.
oh.
It's
Okay,
nice.
I'm gonna be doing
When
deep
when
dive.
when you do find that one person, it's just the source of all blessing, man. It's really cool.
This idea of the term soulmates, do you think it's a helpful term, or do you think it's stifling? Do you think it gives false ideas to people? What is just your general term, or do you believe in soulmates, that term?
I think I believe in soulmates because I definitely believe that Dane is my soulmate. But I feel like it can be a stifling term because, like stated before, it can cause people to maybe not want to put in the work in a relationship when things get a little bit tough because they think, oh, well, you know, it's not meant to be. This isn't my soulmate because this is a little bit hard.
At the same time, I don't always think it's the worst term, because we're not only mates in the body. Like in my belief, we're mates in our spirit as well. It's our love affair is very much a spiritual thing too, more than just our bodies here. So in that sense, I think we're very much mates in our souls as well.
It's so weird when you switch it around.
Sorry.
I love it. What is love, right? We're sitting here with this podcast called Love Is, and we seldom ask the question about, like, yeah, guys, what is love?
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's showing up every day, even if it's hard. Even if, you know, you'd like to just stay in bed.
Yeah.
You gotta get up and tackle the day. Showing up.
I'm really tempted to quote another a John Mayer song.
Oh my gosh.
He's got it.
Love is a verb.
He's got a song called Love is a Verb, and very much it's not just something you say.
It's what you do.
It's what you do. It's how you live. It's yeah, and it's almost regardless of what you do.
Right.
You know.
Like for me, often sometimes it'll be just like Dane bringing me a coffee before he leaves, even if I haven't asked him to do it. Be like, oh wow, that's just he was thinking of me, and it was so kind and considerate. And he's like, it was nothing. I'm like, but it was everything. It was you showing me that you cared about me. I think that's probably one of my love languages.
Gifts, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just, you know, showing up, putting in the work, and
it's a sacrificial thing too. It's
yeah,
giving what's most valuable to yourself, whether that's your time or your, you know, yourself, giving yourself. Right?
Definitely.
Whew. I'm crying. Cass, all that love is truly inspiring. And like I said before, I'm also super jealous.
Well, Justin, don't let soulmates get you down.
Just kidding. This week practically made me fall in love with love. And next week, next week, Cass, we are...
Oh, well, I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Cassie,
I
can't
know.
kill listeners.
Oh my god, I would never. Okay, so next week's Love Is episode. Are you ready? Hit it,
Listeners,
Justin.
we talk self-love for singles. Because you can't love someone else until you can love yourself.
Boom! Well said, Justin. I'm excited for this one because there's nothing more important than self-love and pumping yourself up.
Pump those tires, listeners. Pump your tires all week, waiting for us to come back, because that's it this week for Love Is. I love you, Cass.
I love you, Justin. And we love you, listeners.
We love you, listeners.